Hey guys, today is March 8th, 2016, about 11 days away from my birthday. This is RandoChris, and I guess I've been putting this off for a bit of a while. I've been meaning to talk about Deadpool for the past few weeks, and I just haven't gotten around to it because I'm a lazy asshole. But today I will talk about my experience watching Deadpool in the movie theaters, as well as Zootopia, which I saw last Sunday, and also talk a little bit more about Persona 4 Golden now that I beat my first playthrough last night. Yay! So, Deadpool. I was definitely excited for Deadpool, as a lot of other people would be. Me and some of my friends just being a bunch of Deadpool dorks, though admittedly we haven't really purchased any Deadpool comics, I'm sure. A lot of our knowledge just coming up from different scans of the comic book pages scattered all over the internet. Sure you can. Jar Jar Binks is an asshole, whatever, however that scene went. But still, I was pretty interested in going to see Deadpool, especially with the knowledge of Deadpool being a fourth wall breaking character, and also just a lot of the humor that's associated with him in the hands of better writers, because I can definitely see where people might have been worried with this movie, that Deadpool might have gone a little bit too far in the lol internet random territory. Thankfully it didn't. But my overall thoughts on Deadpool is that I definitely enjoy the movie, although excuse me, eating some chicken. I really enjoy Deadpool, but I felt like there are some things that I wish they would have done, but that's just really nitpicking. A lot of it has to do with the fact that I thought Deadpool would have been a different kind of movie. Now, I'm not saying it would have been. I'm not. I'm not saying I thought Deadpool would have been a very serious movie. Of course not. And I didn't think it would have been a 100 miles per hour like slapstick fest of just like jokes coming right at you constantly. No, I didn't think it would be that. I thought it would have involved a lot more set pieces, going around to different locations with except instead of being within the same city. But that's really just nitpicky for me because I was having so much fun, I wanted more of it. So I guess that's definitely works in the movie's favor. Thoughts on the story itself. It definitely was a pretty effective blend of both serious and off the wall humor, with a lot of time being spent on Deadpool's origins when he was still just normal Wade Wilson, as normal as he was in the origin story. And they don't waste they kind of split it up between the origin story and present time. And Deadpool of course makes note of this, is like, all right, now that we got the origins out of the way, let's get on with the movie. But even still, the origins were pretty interesting to watch, and also how they are kind of making their own type of origins. Like, they still have the basic premise intact, just that they give Deadpool his girlfriend Vanessa, and you get to see the relationship that they have, which is pretty much as R-rated as it could be without going way too far. And yeah, it definitely had a lot of enough dramatic weight to make you feel more attached to Deadpool and how you really want to see him, accomplish his goals beyond, oh hey, it's Deadpool, yeah. And I don't want to go too much into spoilers, because in case someone watches this and they, still want to go see Deadpool or Zootopia or play Persona 4 Golden, I won't go too far into spoilers. But I really feel like some of the other characters that were introduced also were pretty fun to watch, like Colossus. He was pretty much the big Russian dad who was trying to keep Deadpool out of trouble, even though Deadpool would not listen to him ever in his life, I'm sure. And then Negasonic Teenage Warhead, I think it was Negasonic or Megasonic. either way, she was actually a lot of fun too. I had a bit of a feeling before coming into this that I thought she might have been kind of lame, but no, she was pretty fine for a character I haven't really heard of. Um, Deadpool's friend, I forgot his name. I think it was I, I forgot his friend's name, but he also had a lot of good lines to himself. Also, there was, of course, in the trailer, you look like a you look my mind's at a blank right now, but he had a well, that's what happens when it's a vlog. No second takes. I'm not doing any second takes. Stanley cameo was pretty good. I kind of wish that Stanley was able to do a little bit more in this scene, but for those who know what it is, then you'll know what I'm talking about. Like, give the guy some love, please. The antagonist, Ajax or Francis, he did a passable job. I'm not sure if he's an original character made for the movie or if he was in the comics, but he wasn't that interesting other than the fact that he didn't feel any pain. I feel no pain. He wasn't that interesting. His henchwoman though, or yeah, I got a kick out of her, and that's as much as I'll say about that. Yeah, Deadpool was definitely had a few surprises in there with how they handled his character, and they didn't go way too far to the point of just like being totally unrelatable. So that was very nice to see. Any negatives I have to say about Deadpool? Like I said, it would probably just be wanting to see more set pieces within the movie, and just more action scenes, and just maybe I was also expecting some more jabs at Wolverine or something like that, but that just comes with the territory. I don't even know what I mean by that. I've had a bit of a long day. But yeah, if Deadpool's still in theaters, definitely go check it out if you're a fan of the character. If you're not, then I don't really think the movie's going to convince you to really jump on board with Deadpool as a character. Because, his a lot of the humor that you would see in his comics, and if you're not a fan of that, you wouldn't really like the movie. Oh yeah, I remember something I wanted to say, that there are definitely a chock full of references throughout the movie, with the X-Men Origins version of Deadpool with like the Baraka teeth and the arm blades, like they reference that, and they of course reference Green Lantern. Ryan Reynolds as an actual person, just a bunch of good stuff like that. I would say it was a little bit distracting, but only because after you're starting to see a lot of these references, your eyes are just like going around in the background trying to find something that's just hidden right there that you could just point out and be like, oh, I get that reference. But yeah, that's as much as I want to say about Deadpool right now without spoiling anything. Now that leads us to Zootopia. And just like Deadpool, I really, really liked Zootopia. And not just because I really enjoy the anthro characters and the whole medium. Point to my either way, where my avatar is, you'll get why I probably really like Zootopia. But no, that's not the only reason. The biggest reason why I like Zootopia, though, is that it actually had a lot of subtle and very genius commentary that it made throughout the movie about race and the stigmas that are attached to certain races. Like they talk, like, again, spoilers, but like they talk about how predators, like lions, wolves, bears, animals like that. Like thousands of years ago, they used to hunt the prey, also known as the rabbits and the mice and other animals like that. And after that much time, the animals evolved into what we see them as now. But there are some concerns at one point in the movie that they have not fully let go of their primal animalistic urges. And a lot of those preconceived notions that are attached to the predators, it does play a part in the movie. And so it's not just predators are bad. Is It's not just that. It's also the fact that sometimes some of the prey is way more vicious and cunning, and they just have a lot of things to hide. So they're not exactly pure and innocent either. And so that's something I really liked about the movie, how it was able to put those kinds of messages into the film, like just write it well into the plot without ham-fisting it in, like, oh yes, predator speciesism, yeah. As far as the actual story goes, beyond those messages that are within the movie, it's actually a really good buddy cop mystery, which was definitely something that took me off guard. That it wasn't really a lot of, trying to think of the right way to put it, because Judy Hopps, the main character, or one of the main characters, a cute little bunny rabbit, she wants to become she wants to become a cop that means something in the city of Zootopia. And people doubt her because she's a rabbit, and she's normally seen as prey, or the weak, and the meek, and everything that's associated with prey, like weakness, vulnerability. She becomes the first rabbit cop, I think, in the history of Zootopia Police Department. And of course, she doesn't get a lot of respect in her first couple days on the job. And she tries to make the best of it, but things just aren't panning out. So soon enough, she starts getting more involved in the issues of the city. And at one point, she ends up having to she has to apprehend a robber. And that just leads into the bigger chunk of the movie, which is this missing animals case of 13 predators who are all missing in the different districts of Zootopia. And that's also something I want to bring up, is just how well they built the world, or at least the city, is that they separate the city into different districts. There's, Tundra Town, the desert, the rainforest, and then just like the general city where a lot of the mammals live. And I thought that was pretty neat idea of just separating the districts to help fit the animals' needs. If they're more used to the cold or the heat or whatever. I did not see any fish or birds in the movie, so I'm guessing that might answer the question of what do the predators eat for protein now that their fellow animals are now on their level in a way. So, yeah. And it's not just the predators it's not just Judy who gets discriminated against, basically. She gets discriminated against a little for being a bunny and being seen, as someone who can't do the job. Nick Wilde, the fox, he also ends up dealing with his own stigmas that are attached to the fact that he's a fox. That he's untrustworthy, that he's, like he's a con artist. Well, he is, but it's not because he chose to be. It's because of circumstances within his backstory that caused him to end up having this attitude of it just, you know what, fuck the world, I don't care what it thinks of me anymore, I'm just going to do whatever I want, because if they're not going to accept me, then why should I accept them? And again, spoilers. So if you're at this point and you're still listening to me after I said spoilers, and I'm putting in the title of the video, spoilers ahead, then don't blame me for any of this. But I won't spoil any of the bigger things though. Other stuff I liked about Zootopia was the art design, the art design. The models, they looked really, really good. Like, you could almost see every individual strand of fur on, the hairier animals, and you could also see the wrinkles and the scales and the details in the skin and some of the other animals, which I thought was really nice. And they really did put a lot of time and effort into like establishing the world of Zootopia and just crafting specific ways to play things into the mammal's daily life, like if they want to get a drink, like, okay, god damn it, I can't talk today. Yeah, so like if a smaller mammal is trying to hand something to an animal like a giraffe, there's a tube that sends it up to them. And, that's just the little things that help build a credible world for all of your characters to be in. And it's something I took notes of for my own story about little furry animals. Well, okay, they're not little, but still. Other characters that I enjoyed in the movie, thinking about it, not a lot of them had too much to do, which is fine because the story's about Judy and Nick and not them. But the police chief Bogo and Clawhauser, they have their own little moments that are fun to watch. Like Bogo playing with an app on his phone that puts his face on an obvious tiger's body while the tiger is dancing with Shakira Gazelle. Oh yeah, that's another thing I forgot to bring up. I don't mind the design and the idea of the Gazelle character because she's supposed to be kind of like the pop idol, be the super popular celebrity who's, the biggest name in Zootopia, basically. But I just don't understand why it had to be Shakira. Mostly just because, like, why? I don't know, but still the song at the end during the credits, it's a pretty nice song. It's nothing you'll really write home about, though. It was made for the movie. I'm trying to think of other things I could bring up about Zootopia that it really should. I guess I could talk more about the mystery a little, just for the fact that it actually does keep you guessing of what's going on, the reasons why it's happening, and a lot of trying to piece together how the whole mystery comes together and what Judy and Nick are trying to do to solve it. And I thought it was pretty well thought out, actually, and it helps naturally build a friendship between Judy and Nick while they're trying to solve the case. Because, of course, as with a lot of stories such as this, they don't start off on the best of terms, but, certain, experiences bring them together. Yeah. So I think that's about as much as I want to say for Zootopia as of right now. I did want to talk about the trailers, though, because oh my god, the trailers before this movie were... Okay, let's get the good ones out of the way first. First one was Finding Dory, the Finding Nemo spinoff focusing on Dory finding her family. It wasn't anything too spectacular, but I really liked Finding Nemo, so it's nice to see that they're able to try and build a little bit more upon what they already had in Finding Nemo, but just focused on Dory. Especially when you don't really know too much about her if you just watch Finding Nemo, so they at least have a valid reason to make the movie. The next best trailer, surprisingly, and I never thought I would say this, but it's Michael Bay Ninja Turtles 2 Out of the Shadows. Somehow that was the second best trailer, and that speaks volumes for how a lot of the other trailers went. Now, I kid a little. I do appreciate yeah, it feels weird to give Michael Bay praise, especially when he's such an easy punching bag. But whoever is handling the creative direction in this Ninja Turtles movie definitely has more of a better idea of how to make it feel like a Ninja Turtles movie, because they're introducing Casey Jones, Bebop, and Rocksteady. Rocksteady played by Sheamus, so yay. But yeah, a lot of the trailer did feel more like a Ninja Turtles movie than the first one felt. And oh my god, from what I heard about the first one, I don't plan on watching it, and I don't think I need to understand what's going on in the sequel. If I am dumb enough to see it, I'm not really excited for it or anything. I'm just saying, at least they're trying to put in a little bit more effort in this one. Oh god, okay, the other trailers, good god. Oh wait, I forgot. Jungle Book. Jungle Book was also a trailer. I think it was the... I would put Jungle Book ahead of Michael Bay Turtles in terms of ranking the trailers, but it's pretty much like a live-action adaptation of the Jungle Book, like taking the animated movie and just putting it in live action. That's kind of what it is, basically. But for what they're trying to... But for how it looks, it definitely looks like, you know, they paid attention to the source material, at least of the animated movie, because Bare Necessities was playing a bit at one point in the song, in the trailer, sorry. So that, you know, what can you do? All right, so after Finding Dory, Jungle Book, and Michael Bay Turtles, we get into some of the other trailers. Yay! Oh god. They're still making Ice Age movies. Good god, I can't believe they're still making Ice Age movies. This is going to be Ice Age 5 Collision Course, where it's a completely different movie compared to the first one if you were expecting it to follow some kind of continuing story as far as the first movie went, because after the first Ice Age, they just started going off in a completely different direction. I haven't really watched any of the other Ice Age sequels, thank God. And this trailer didn't really sell me on watching it, so too bad, so sad. The next one in the rankings is The Secret Life of Pets. Now, this is definitely an example of how not to reveal things in your movie trailer, because okay, so when I first saw the first teaser for The Secret Life of Pets, I figured it would have had some, you know, juvenile humor for the little kids, but I thought it would have been either a bunch of comedy sketches, I guess you could call it, of just different animals in their homes getting into different hijinks. Either that, or it would have been animals in their different homes at war with each other, which probably sounds like a way more better movie than what we're getting here, because the trailer plays out like the teaser, and then it gets to the part of, hey, I brought this new dog home. I hope you two can be brothers. And at that point, I pretty much thought to myself, this is Toy Story with dogs, pretty much. And a cat thrown in. But yeah, this is pretty much what this story is going to be. It's pretty much going to be the long-established presence in the house, or in the room, however you want to put it. You know, being afraid of being forgotten or replaced by a newcomer. And so there's jealousy, at least on one side. And you pretty much know how the movie's going to go. That they're going to learn a lesson. They're going to become close. They're going to get home. And everyone's going to be happy. And everything else is just... And that's all I really want to say about it, besides a stupid ass, rabbit poop joke in the trailer, which brings me to the last trailer I want to talk about. And it is easily the worst one. It's Angry Birds, the movie. Why the fuck do we need an Angry Birds movie? Why do we need one? I don't know. All I can say about it is that it definitely shows a lot of the trends you see in a lot of the modern day kids movies that you really don't want to see anymore, which is basically the toilet humor or the lowbrow stuff or stuff that's like way too easy joke to make. Like, oh my gosh, get me out! I'm about to sniff my butt. Like, do you have any care in the world for how you're presenting yourself? No? Then, alright, go make your shitty movie. And I think is probably another reason why I really liked Zootopia, because in comparison to those other animated movie trailers, Zootopia felt like a fucking godsend. It felt like Citizen Kane compared to the Angry Birds trailer, the worst of them all. And I don't really want to say any more about the Angry Birds movie trailer, but I'll just say swimming in a toilet, basically, and watching eagle take a piss. That's the highlight. So if you're into that, then you'll love Angry Birds the movie. But last thing for the vlog, and I've been looking forward to talking about this also. Persona 4 Golden. I finally completed my first playthrough last night. Izanami no Okami, you are a bitch. But I'll just talk a little bit real quick about Persona 4 Golden. For those of you who have never heard of the Persona series, Persona 4 Golden is basically an upgraded version of the original game for PlayStation 2, which was this Golden being released for the Vita, but I have PlayStation TV, so that's how I played it. And the story revolves around a silent protagonist that you get to name, moving into the city, the town. It's not a city, it's a town. The town of Inaba, where you're living with your uncle and cousin for a year. And while you're making friends at your new high school, a murder mystery starts to unravel in Inaba. And soon, you and your friends become involved in the case. And so it's up to you guys, it's up to you and your friends to figure out who's killing people in Inaba, how and why they're doing it, and who they are. And there's definitely a lot to talk about in Persona 4 Golden that would take up an entire half hour for at least. So I'll just go over my general thoughts on the game itself, which I really, really do love Persona 4 Golden. Thankfully, I'm making a positive video this time, except for those shitty trailers, but yeah. Persona 4 Golden is not my first Persona game, though. That was Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, the fighting game, because fighting games. But after playing Ultimax, it did get me interested in playing one of the mainline Persona games. So I decided to get the PS TV to make it easier on myself to play, and the game itself. And I got a pretty sweet deal out of it, because the only PS TV that the GameStop I got it from had in stock was on clearance, and it was a bundle. So I got a memory card and controller and all a bunch of goodies for a way cheaper price. The gameplay of Persona 4 Golden, I really do like how it separates into two basic game modes, if you could call them that. The first one is you developing social links with your friends, family, and other residents of Inaba. And the other half is going through the dungeons and stopping villains and saving innocent people. And so that's like, they both play off of each other very well, and there's a good flow between the both of them. And the game definitely teaches you some good time management skills, because holy crap, you do not want to mess around in Persona 4. You have a limited amount of days once someone gets thrown into the TV world to go in and save them. And if you fuck around too much, they will die, and you are fucked. So you gotta learn how to manage your social links and the dungeons in a balanced manner, so that way you can max out your social links and be able to fuse better personas while saving people as soon as you can, so that way you have more time to develop your social links and get those better personas. The music is kick-ass. It's definitely probably the best JRPG I've ever played. I think it's the only JRPG I've ever played, but still, it's... I would probably fail to find a lot of other games that would exceed Persona 4 Golden in that category of just the overall game, music, story, characters. Kanji Tatsumi best waifu. Again, I would recommend... Well, actually, I would recommend going to see Deadpool, Zootopia, and playing Persona 4 Golden, because they all of these things have made for a pretty nice past couple of weeks for me. So, yay. So, anything else I need to say? Not really. Just general life stuff still going on. I got a I brought my mini fridge back from my sister's place. Now that I have room for it, should be cooling some pretty good drinks right now, which I need to dig into because my mouth is getting dry. Got some chicken right here, so I need to eat. So I guess I'll close out this video by saying that I'm really glad to have seen Deadpool, Zootopia, and play Persona 4 Golden. I'm going on the New Game Plus right now for Persona 4, so that's good. And also, if you just decide to go see Zootopia, I will warn you of a little thing that if you're going to go see Zootopia, don't watch it in a theater full of little kids, because they will not shut up. And I don't hate kids, but when they can't behave in a movie theater, it just makes me want to poke them in the cheeks and tell them to shush. But anyway, this is RandoChris. This is my vlog, and this is me saying so long, and hopefully I'll get some stuff going. Bye.